What's up, Freccero fam? So recently, my grandfather, Lorenzo Freccero, unfortunately passed away. And he was an incredible man, to say the least. I mean, that's a huge understatement. The amount of stuff that I learned from him was incredible, from topics ranging from business to psychology to just different ways to live life. So in this video, especially because I learned so much from him, in this video, I basically want to talk about the 5 most important lessons I learned from my grandfather. Number 1, networking. Now, this is pretty much a cliche thing that everyone says. Like, oh, makes you build a good network. You know, the common phrase of it's not what you know, it's who you know. I mean, everyone's heard that everywhere, and it really is true. But my grandfather took that to a whole nother level. He was the type of person that literally, and this is not an exaggeration, could walk into almost any Boston restaurant and immediately get a reservation and immediately have a table. No matter, how busy they were, no matter how high-end the restaurant was, no matter how, chaotic it may have been that night, he was able to do that. He was the type of person that literally in any industry, I mean, if you're talking from the food industry to, the music industry, the list goes on to any industry you could think of, he had a vast network. He was the type of person that could go up to somebody in a very conservative business atmosphere and converse with them, no issue. He was also the type of person that we would go to a party, would be the life of the party. He was able in a very unique way, which is a very difficult task and skill to acquire. He was able to almost kind of converse in the sense that he could talk to somebody, have a great conversation, but then take a step back and be able to listen and really observe what they have to say. And a lot of times people think of networking, they think of, okay, I have to go to an event, I have to be, ready with my elevator pitch and my 30-second speech to explain what I do. I have to make sure I have my business card. But my grandfather is big on not only talking the talk and walking the walk, but being able to know when it's time to kind of settle down and listen to what other people have to say. Number 2, translating. Now, there are some people that have the incredible mindset and linguistic talent that they can translate between English and Italian, or English and Spanish, for example. It takes a lot of skill. But there are other people, like my grandfather, who can do the most extreme and intense version of translating. And that's translating between complex business topics and very, very specific intellectual speak and simple speak, for example. And what I mean is this: my grandfather's featured in books, articles, the list goes on, as being one of the few people that could actually converse with top CEOs about complex business knowledge and everything that goes into business, be able to take that information, dissect it in the most important parts and bits, and then translate it to somebody who, let's say, isn't into business. Now, I talked about, obviously, in the first topic, being good at networking. This is important to be conversational and have a good flow and being able to meet people. But what my grandfather did, especially when it comes to translating, is he's somebody that could talk to somebody, only talk business speak, and we all know those people that are so smart. Sometimes their social skills are a little bit lacking. And so my grandfather was usually in the position numerous times where he would talk to them, get all the business knowledge, translate it in the best way possible that he could talk to somebody who, let's say, has no business speak, and so talk to them without being condescending, without being rude or anything, and be able to converse these incredibly complex business topics to something so that everybody can understand. Number 3, dress the part. Now, this goes a long way because especially at high-end events, it doesn't matter at a certain point how good of a talker you are, how smooth you are. If you don't have the look, if you don't have the right look and attire, it doesn't really matter. But what my grandfather did, which is incredible, is not only did he wear, the perfect fashion, had an incredible fashion sense, but he embodied this one specific phrase, and that is, it doesn't necessarily matter what you wear, it matters how you wear it. And he would always be the most stylish, with the most unique outfits and arrays that not only stood out and showed how professional he was, but gave him some character. He wasn't just another person wearing a suit, he had some unique flavor to it. For example, I remember learning that a big thing that he would always embody was the philosophy of shining your shoes. And not only shining your shoes, but the back of your shoes. So when you would walk away, someone would see the back of your shoes, notice how shiny they were, and be like, wow, that person has to be professional. I have to get to know him more. Number 4, be a go-getter. Now, my grandfather truly embodied the words of ambitious, aggressive, persistent, intense about wanting to accomplish his goals. He wasn't the type of person that would be super rude or super loud or obnoxious, but he'd be the type of person that when it was 9, 10, 11 p.m. on a random Saturday night, he'd be inside working on his goals and on his projects. He was the type of person that literally wanted to play the saxophone, so he just got a saxophone and learned it all by himself. You know, he was an incredible person, not only when it comes to the business aspect, which I've talked about in terms of networking and whatnot, but the creative ones as well. And regardless of whatever his goal was, whether it's something creative or business or whatever it was, he was that person that would set his mind to something and immediately accomplish it. Number 5, last but definitely not least, dance. My grandfather was an unbelievable dancer, and even that statement in itself is an understatement. When him and my grandmother would dance, regardless if it was a wedding, a night out on the town, I mean, it didn't matter what it was, what the event was, what the situation was, the entire dance floor would clear because of how impressive they were dancing. My grandfather truly believed, especially for guys, when you want to say talk to a girl and meet a girl, knowing how to dance, knowing how to move your body, especially in relationship to someone else's and in a musical setting, is everything. And so he was the type of person, like I said, that could not only go out, meet people, talk to people, have this amazing translating ability, being able to dress the part, being able to be that go-getter and have that entrepreneurial mindset, but he also, right when he would hit the dance floor, would absolutely crush it. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Obviously, there were a tremendous amount of things that I learned from my grandfather, so I kind of want to narrow it down to my favorite 5 and obviously pass on his amazing knowledge to you.